Do not fear! Saf is here. And this is Saf Buxy from Spirituality Gone Wild in the house. And it's New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve. Well, if it's Pacific time, it's 12 p.m. If it's Eastern time, it's a bit later. But in the UK, we are right in the evening. It's 8 p.m. in the UK. Live as always, Saf Surgery. I'm Saf Buxy. This show is called Inspirational People, Inspirational Stories. And what inspiration we have today. I am so honored and so blessed. And it has been on late notice, but thanks Rocco Buonvino in the house. Rocco Buonvino always pulls through. And if you don't know who Rocco is the producer of Feel Good Factor TV. So watch me at 10 a.m. on Saturday UK time on Feel Good Factor TV. Yeah, Sky Showcase 191. The whole channel starts at 7. But let's get on to tonight's guest. Wow. Sophie Karl, also known as Sparkling Sophie, and this is our New Year's Eve special. Sophie is an incredible human being. She brings so much character and so much pizzazz into life, and this is something that we want on New Year's Eve. And what a show to end on. She interviews celebrities, just like myself, and inspirational people around the globe, just like myself. She's a social media influencer. She's an actress who has had speaking roles in TV and film production. She's worked with films with the likes of Tom Cruise, Tom Hardy, Brad Pitt, amongst others. Wow. She's also a Reiki Master. Her father passed away about 15 years ago. He was suffering from Parkinsons and cancer he had and dementia, and that proved to be a massive turning point in Sophie's life. And we're going to hear all about that today. But she's an advocate for talking about success and confidence. I mean, she's inspired me. Already I'm inspired by Sophie. So without further ado, let's bring on Sophie, aka Sparkling Sophie. Where you at? Hey!
Hey!
Hey! How you doing?
Wow.
How you doing, Sophie? Welcome. You okay?
Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you for honoring us with your presence on New Year's Eve as well. My last show of the year. Wow, and I think, I mean, I've had guests all year round, all different kinds of inspirations, and from celebrities for people who are high in their field, from people who have who've suffered and experienced serious issues, from honor killing to sex trafficking to acid attack victims, or I like to call them survivors. And I think to have you on our last show, Sophie, because you are a bubbly character, excuse the pun, because bubbles is what you're all about. Before we carry on, I got a message from Mr. John Stewart. Hi, Saf. Happy New Year, mate. Rock on, John. Nice to see you as always. Sophie,
yes.
I mentioned a little bit about you. Obviously, there's a lot to your story that you can talk to us about, what you feel comfortable with, to where you were before and how you got to where you are today, because you inspire so many people out there. And yes, you are known as Sparkling Sophie, and wine is the big thing behind you. And obviously, a lot of my viewers are in recovery, so this will be a nice little test for them. So it's not a show for triggers for you guys. This is a show to hear someone's story and where she was and where she is today. So today's about honoring you. Okay, so please, over to you, Sophie. Let us know about a young Sophie, where you came from, and what you used to do, and how you got to where you are today. Over to you, my lovely.
Oh gosh, okay. Well, I was born in Chislehurst, and my father was British. Mum is French. And I grew up in a very nice household, I guess. I was very lucky to have very loving parents. And I traveled quite a lot during my childhood, so never really stayed in one place. Went to one country, then to another, and I changed schools a lot as well, because my father was a businessman. And yes, and all this, when I got to the drinking age, the real drinking age, because in France, we are allowed to drink before the age of 18. So, of course, I did have a little tipple of wine before that. But from the age of 18, then I discovered other sides to myself. I mean, as you said in the introduction, I did start doing Reiki quite a bit. So Reiki, for those who don't know, is a form of healing, which really helped in different ways. Because yes, my father did have quite an illness, and if I may correct you slightly, it wasn't 15 years ago he passed away. It was 3 years ago, but he was ill for around 15 years. So it was the whole length. But that has taught me so much in my life. People who know the sparkling Sophie social media person don't realize the things that I've been through in life. But I'm so grateful for everything. And I mean, yes, one day I was like, I appeared on a film set, and that was a turning point in my life. I really enjoyed it. I got to know a really fun film family, and I felt very comfortable with them. Had a couple of speaking parts, yes, and then it just went on from there. And afterwards, I also ended up in the wine side of things. There was two choices in my life, because like all moms, my mom does get worried sometimes about me. The film industry isn't always the most, how do you say it? The most, you can't always know where it's going to lead to. So one day I thought, okay, what can I do in life, which I love? I thought, okay, I like wine and I like animals. So I applied to two different jobs. One was to be an animal demonstrator. So it was to actually speak about tigers at a zoo. And another one was a wine shop. I had the wine shop job first. Thank God for that. Because maybe I wouldn't even be here speaking to you today. And yes, and then I discovered that. And between everything, I've written a couple of books. Writing is something I really enjoy. And yeah, I'm more into, as you know, law of attraction and all this. And there's a couple of big projects coming up very soon, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, I don't know. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I've seen some of your videos on Instagram, and you're just you're just so bubbly and so you're just fresh, man. And I love it when you're on the bicycle drinking the wine, and you're by the cows and you're drinking. I love all that, and you bring fun to it as well. And it's and you're building up an amazing following as well because of your character and because of the kind of person you are, and you have been through traumatic events with your father and so forth. And I think you epitomize what survival is, how to come at the other end. But you say law of attraction. I'm a big law of duality man myself, and heuristic escalation, and they're my favorite of the omnipresent laws. And I'm always about looking at the two-sided perception, and I think you are too as well. And I think that's been great in your thinking and in your life turn, if you like. So it's really
absolutely. For me, I'm such a big believer that you've got two choices in life. Either you see the positive side of things or you go down the other way. What's the point reminiscing on things which have happened? It's unfortunate, it can be terrible, it can put you in a state, but you just need to grow from things, because at the end of the day, from what I know at least, we've only got one life for the moment. So just as well do the most from it. And yeah, I just love to wake up in the morning. I've got my little morning routine, and I love to wake up in the morning and do some visualizations and a couple of meditations and make sure that I am ready for the day. And I'm so grateful every day to just be alive, and because I've seen things which weren't always very nice to see in my life, and whether it's my father or other members which were close to me. So for me, it's just, I'm so grateful to be alive every day, and I want to share this with the world. And the point, talking about things which are not that great and negative and all that, when you can spread love.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm a great believer of acknowledging the negative stuff myself, and then looking at the benefits of the negative and looking at the drawbacks of the positive. And I think that's the only way for me is to embrace things together, and then we can move up. Otherwise, there's a chance we could be living in the nightmare. But what I want to hear about, Sophie,
What do you want to
what
hear?
I want to hear about, I want to hear some stories about Tom Cruise and Tom Hardy. And
Oh
come
God.
on, tell me something. Tell me something, Sophie. Come on, give me.
Oh
Don't
gosh.
worry, we're not going to get sued unless we talk about something really serious. You know?
Oh no. Well, all I can say, I'm not normally starstruck. However, my first scene with Tom Cruise was slightly daunting. I did the most stupid thing. Not did, but like said the most stupid thing. You know, I had my scene all prepared. I knew my part. I knew what I had to say. And I told Tom, like, hey Tom, do I start speaking on action? That was nerves. That was nerves. And he was so nice. He was like, he gave me that smile and he was like, if you could, that would be amazing.
Wow. He's quite short, isn't he, in height?
That's what people say, but I don't think he's that short. Well, he's not short, for me. He's fine for me.
No?
Yeah, he's about my height. So
Yeah. He
and
does come across short, but yeah, maybe.
yeah, I'm 5'7". So he was, I'd say 5'7" as well. So he's perfect. And he even took off his shirt at some point.
Oh, but that's why you're saying he's perfect, Sophie, Karl.
And Sophie
I
was like,
can you tell us what film it was so we can keep an eye out
it
for you?
was I guess so, yeah. I think so. For the mummy. Yeah, Mummy
oh
too.
wow. Beautiful. Yeah.
So, a lot of explosion in the film, and we were filming in a museum in London, the Natural History Museum. So yeah, it was quite
fantastic.
cool.
And tell me about Tom. Tell me about the other Tom, Mr. Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy loves dogs. I hope I'm not going to get sued for saying all of this, you
won't, man. If you do, I'll take it. I'll take it all.
Okay. Well,
no, but you're not. Yeah, as long as he hasn't committed an offence, it's okay, I think.
No, he was lovely. I mean, they're all so nice, And no, it was for, what was it for? Oh gosh, I forgot. Oh yeah, Taboo, the TV show. I don't know if you saw it at all. No. And yeah, I had a little part there. Not a very appealing part. I was just, a servant being thrown about in, thrown about quite a bit and being shouted at, and I just had to shout quite a bit. So it wasn't the most sophisticated of parts, but it was a part. And Mr. Tom was very sweet. Like, he had his dog on set quite a bit. And so we chatted mainly about dogs. Very exciting. And he's a nice guy. And then, you wanted me to speak about Brad Pitt.
Mr. Bradley Pitt. Yeah.
Of course, an amazing actor. It was for a film called Allied with Marion Cotillard as well at his side. And of course, Marion Cotillard has a French side like me, so, we got on quite well. Brad Pitt was, fair enough. He was lovely. He didn't talk to me as much as I would have liked to, I was like, I'm here. Why are you not talking to me?
Brad Pitt, man. Brad Pitt.
Why do you wait for scenes to just talk or do the scene? It's just talk to me. But no, he was very, very focused on what he did. And of course, the director at that point was Robert Zemeckis, who also did the film Forrest Gump. And he's fantastic film director, absolutely fantastic. His way of working is very focused. We do a scene probably, a lot, tens of times.
Wow.
But yes, he was very focused, and so he's, fair enough. He didn't have much time to speak to me, but
But you know what? You've acted with some, 3 great actors who you've mentioned. Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of all 3, of course, and I've minimal experience in acting, but I have also been in a feature film, which I'm not going to disclose because I don't want to spoil. I don't want to chase my audience away, my followers and people who watch me on a regular basis.
I've got to know it. I think I might know.
Yeah. Oh, no. Rocco showed you, hasn't he? He showed you my trailer. No. Has he not?
No. He hasn't, but I can just imagine you in a certain type of film.
It was a very small part. It was a very small part, to be fair. I wish it was bigger, but it was great experience, man. Chiwetel Ejiofor, was the main actor who's in 12 Years a Slave, and Denzel's Washington Brothers in American Gangster. Max Beasley, awesome actor. Thandie Newton is in the film. James Bolam, an old English actor. So there's a few of the EastEnders actor who weren't in EastEnders then and
Yeah.
who have been since. So it was just great being in your own cabin but
Oh,
it's
I
hard work.
love it. Is it terrible to say that I just, I mean, I'm very good at taking care of myself, I love doing my thing. But I mean, when you go on set,
Yeah,
it is a different life, isn't it? Well, sometimes you
it's
wake up at 4 a.m., you go on until 8 p.m., you've got stress which goes up and down. But in
mm,
between, yes, you have a lovely little trailer to yourself if you're lucky
mm,
enough. And,
mm,
you chauffeur and stuff and things. I mean, maybe
mm.
I shouldn't say this, but it's kind of cool
Oh,
when
it's
you
lovely. I had all that as well, and it was. But people don't appreciate how hard it is to film, because as you say, there's so many takes and this angle, that angle, and you've only done 20 seconds of the film, and it's taken a whole day in some cases, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So
one scene on Allied with Brad
yeah,
Pitt and Marcos, yeah, took 1 week just to get your preview. But that again is because the film director on that particular film was very, very like a
very
perfectionist.
thorough.
But
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, one scene, 1 week.
It's great. Is there any more acting in the pipeline for you? Is that something that you want to do more of, or have you got other? Because this wine. Tell us about sparkling wine. We're going to talk about it very very briefly, only because of the audience, but it's part of your story. And it's a big part of your story. In a nutshell, how did you get into it? What do you do with it, and where do you want to go with it?
In a nutshell, well, as I was saying earlier, I discovered that by working in a wine shop, I could actually have a career by drinking wine. And I know it's not for your audience, but yes, it's not a bad way of working.
Well,
And
it's not. It's not. It is for me though, because I'll start causing mayhem, being a become an addict. You get me? But
I mean, I'm quite, yeah, when you work in the wine industry, you really have to be careful and you need to know how to hold your alcohol, definitely. And that's not given to everyone. Some people, have one glass and are like, woo-hoo-hoo. But no, you can't do that. I've been, sometimes at some tastings, I need to taste 70 different wines, 70. And that can be quite normal for someone who works in the wine industry. And you need to be able to drink all, well, not to drink, to taste all 70 wines and still be okay at the end. You
mm,
can't be tipsy, you can't you be out of your mind in any way. So,
I'll be gulping it down bottle by bottle. I'll be drinking 70 bottles.
well, no,
That's why you're in that job and I'm not. Do you know what I mean?
well,
But
everything has to be in balance, and that's why I call this actually winefulness. Wine in balance,
I
because
love it.
people
Love
just expect me that I'm drinking wine all the time, but yeah, maybe I abuse everything on wine, but no, I like taking wine in balance. A little bit here, a little bit there. Having wine of good quality, discovering new wines, and that's what I like about the wine industry, and that's actually something which really attracted me to it. It's mainly because, I mean, with wine, you never know what is coming next. There's always a new country producing wine. There's always you've got the geography in it, you've got the physics in it, you've got all kind of perspectives, you've got the people behind it, the history. So I just think it englobes every single topics in the world. And I'm someone, I wouldn't say who gets bored easily, but yeah, I don't know if there's a nicer way of saying this, but yes, I'm someone who likes to progress in life, and
it.
I just love to learn things all the time. And this industry has provided this to me. So that's why, yeah,
Wow.
makes me happy.
No, no, great. But that's not all you do, is it? There's a lot of things that
No,
you do.
oh gosh.
Um, there are a lot of things that you do in the back end. Do you want to tell us a bit about that, Sophie?
Like which ones? I do so
Whatever you feel comfortable with. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
what, the writing bit or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Please, yeah.
Well, okay, so I write. I've written well, I write articles from time to time for some magazines and stuff. There's actually one which is a luxury magazine with JWP, so James W. Phillips, and he's a fantastic person who just started off this magazine. So look out for it. He's great.
Yeah.
And yes, just different articles about wine, of course. And also, so I've written a couple of books recently, which I'm waiting for them to be published. One is a young adult fiction novel, and so it has that spiritual side to it, definitely, because again, it's something which is close to my heart, and it's about, you know, love, good health, and going for what you want in life and finding the strength to go until the end of your dreams, because it's something which means so much to me. Then I've got that wine book which I'm working on, and so that's very good, looking very promising. I can't say too much. And
Yeah.
I actually self-published a book ages ago as well, because I just, at the time, I didn't want to publish it or anything. That was like 10 years ago or something, and that was called The Magic of Life. So yeah, I find writing very cathartic, and it just helps me every day. Like, every evening I just write in bed, makes me
Wow.
very happy.
Yeah. I've dabbled at writing myself, and it's taken me 2.5 years. I'm still writing this book of mine. It's taken me such a long time, but I'm close to finishing it. I'm hoping to launch it in March, April time. So
Oh, that'd be
yes,
amazing, and everything comes at the right time. I always think, and yeah, sometimes you've got an idea ponding in your head for years. Some people write books and it takes them years, but then one day you're like, okay, I'm going to finish it, and it takes 1 month.
well, yeah,
So
not my story. My story is taking it. So what's up in the future? Because are we allowed to mention what I know, what we know, or not yet? Is that all hush hush at the moment?
I think it's kind of hush
Should
hush.
we not mention it then? Let's not mention it just yet,
Like, we
because
can
I
just
don't.
say it's something to do with TV.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
That's all we can say. Like,
That's all we can say.
there's
Yeah,
something going on with, yeah,
yeah.
having
We may be on the same channel together next year.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
can say that. We can say
Yeah,
we can't tell you what channel.
we can say yeah. No, I'm very
uh,
excited for that. It's going to be yeah, a wonderful way to start 2021, and I can't
yeah.
wait to tell everyone about it.
No. Well, you know what? You got what? A few more days, I think, before the confirmation is there for yourself in
Monday.
particular.
Monday is a
Monday, and then we can.
confirmation.
So what? Watch this space, guys. Uh, yeah, Sophie has got some news for us all, and
Mhm.
it'd be great to share a channel with you, even though we probably won't be on the same show. But you never
Well,
know what the world.
when things become normal again, I'm sure we'll have like a kind of channel party. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've been on various channels this year myself, and there are a few parties outstanding from 2020.
Mm.
So hopefully 2021 will be a big party, and I think you might have to drink wine on my behalf as I'm in abstinent, but so you can drink my share. Yeah, which would have been a lot, to be fair. But
Are you going
no,
to the Cannes Film Festival? Well, I guess we don't know if that's even going on in May.
don't know if that's going on. Just, to be fair to Cannes, I've been to Cannes once. It was the year Pulp Fiction was premiered at Cannes,
Yeah.
and I had an amazing time. And 3 months later, 2 months later, I went to LA to live, and I lived in LA for a year and a half, which was crazy time. And that was the year I went to Cannes. A year and a half later, well, 2 months later, I'm in LA and then in Cannes. But what's new?
What's
What we got? Yeah. So what we got coming up in 2021? We got this television channel that you're hoping to be in, and obviously we can't speak too much about that, but we're looking forward to hear the news. What does the future hold for Sophie? Where do you want to be um, this time next year? For argument's sake, what would you?
I would like my books to be published worldwide, please, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
We know someone who can help you on that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
yeah. But it's whether you like the deal that they offer. But we can talk about that off air. But
Yeah.
I
No.
think I'm gonna go down the self-publishing route. I think myself.
Well, I was
Just
talking
have more
about
control.
that
Just
with
for the
someone
control.
earlier, and self-publishing route is fantastic and it's good, for your self-esteem as well. I mean, it's great that you've done it and you can say you've done a book. But in my perspective, I don't have that fulfillment, if I do a self-published book, I said I did a self-published book years ago. When you self-publish a book, what people don't tell you is that it's like a full-time job. You need to market it constantly, every day. It's a full-time job. And at the end of the day, it's just nice to have a publisher take care of it. Sure, not all, it's very difficult, that route. Not all publishers are going to want to publish your book. It could take years, but that's the route that I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I do have the choice as well. I think, but I think because I do a lot of talks myself, and potentially globally next year when things get back to normal, of course I'll be taking all my books with me and talking about the book. So I'd like to think that I would make a lot of sales that way as well. And also, like yourself, you're going to be out there next year. Yeah, people are going to know you. More people are going to know them than they know you already. And so I think that's sort of, so that sort of takes care of the marketing as well. So, and obviously the percentages are better, I think, depending on who the publisher is. But I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm still open. I'm still open. If anyone wants to come and give me a great,
as at the end of the day, you need to follow your guts, follow what your heart wants in life, and you've got that feeling, you've got that instinct. If self-publishing is a route for you, it's for you. I just feel it's not my route right now, but maybe in the future, it could be. I mean, if I suddenly, have a big company which coaches about success, for example, that's completely different as a coach, an independent coach. Of course, in these ways, you could have a self-published book and then promote it in those ways. But for me, I just like writing stories and making people happy, and just sharing as much inspiration as possible.
Lovely. Tell me, Sophie. Tell me about your coaching and coaching for success, and when do you do that? How do you do it? What do you actually do?
Well, that's more the word of mouth, actually. So most people are not necessarily aware of that. So, well, now they are. But yeah, it's more people who kind of follow me. They just approach me in different ways and ask if I would be able to coach about success and confidence. And a lot of companies, just approach me that way as well. And so they're just the basics, when I talk about success, for example, you've got 3 typical success things. Like I talk about my morning routine, and, having a morning routine for me, it's very, very important. And, the fact of seeking knowledge, I think, is a very big thing for achieving success as well. So not being scared to ask people about what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and everything. Everybody needs a mentor. No one is clever enough to know everything, and you can't think like that. You need to accept help from other people, and a lot of people are actually close to that and don't even realize it. And once you kind of take off those barriers and open the rest of the world, you can see that having a mentor is very, very useful. And I guess I also talk about focus, just keeping your idea in mind and just focusing on it. Like, if you've got a plan, just go for it. It could be a tiny plan, so if you're feeling very, very depressed and everything every day, your success plan could just be getting out of bed in the morning. Getting out of bed in the morning, that could be your thing, and that's a massive achievement. If you're in that position, there is no which is too small. And that's what people need to learn, really. Like, some people need to know about it. Everything is possible in life. And yeah, so those are like some of the things I talk about to them as a one-to-one kind of thing.
Brilliant,
maybe it won't always be one.
No, I think that's really good, especially with the year we've had. In some cases, it's been quite distressing for me myself. I always look at how this year and how these circumstances have served me, and I always look at the benefits, and it's in one way it's been the best year I've ever had, in terms of work, in terms of exposure, in terms of being of service to people, because the technology has been lifesaver for me and my work, and for what I want to try and do. And I think it's helped you as well in that. So I've looked at the benefits, but of course I do recognize how distressing it has been for many people, and to myself in some ways. I want to give a shout out to Steve Weber. What's up, Stevie? He goes, bravo, Sophie and Saf, with a clap and a star, and I don't
Thank
know what that
you,
star
Steve.
thing is. Steve's a fellow co-creator of Spirituality Gone Wild, and you were
Okay.
mentioning the director of Forrest Gump. Steve
Yeah.
is Forrest Gump.
Okay.
He is. His show's called The Gumption, American Gumption.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, Steve, if you Google him, or if you look at
I
Steve
will
Weber,
Google him just afterwards. Yeah.
yeah, Steve Weber, or the American Gumption Show is part of SGW. Check him out. He is Forrest Gump, but he's an incredible guy, and he's an incredible giver, and I have a lot of time and a lot of love for him. So, hi, Steve. Good to have you. Good to have you on with us. So, look, we're coming to an end of the show. I know it's just gone very, very quickly, and it's New Year's Eve, and you got to celebrate with
We have to
Mama, and I got
prepare
to
for New
celebrate.
Year's Eve. It is New Year's Eve, isn't it? Oh
It's
gosh.
New Year's Eve, man. What you got? Any plans for tonight in lockdown?
Well,
Oh, you
I had
have.
to choose, no. I had to choose, what I wanted in my life at the moment, and I chose my mother over the rest of the world. So I am with my mum and
Perfect.
our cat. And yeah, so at midnight, I'll be having a glass of champagne with my mum. And
Champagne. Wow, not wine. You having a glass
well,
of Dom P.
yeah, a little bit of bubbles, it's quite
Oh,
nice.
bubble. Well, you
Yeah.
are a bubbly character. I don't think you need bubbles to be bubbly, but that's your game, isn't it? So,
But then look, I've got no champagne in my hand. I think it's rare because, when I interview people on my podcast and everything, people are used to seeing me with wine in my hand. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do with my hands?
ah, yeah. Well, you know what? Probably it's a good thing for my show because, as I said, I don't want to trigger anyone off to start drinking wine, like especially the ones who are, trying to stop or
Yeah, no,
control
absolutely
what they.
not. Like, wine for me is a kind of education, but it's not always enjoyable. Only
You're being
certain
too kind.
brands are good, and water is fantastic as well. Like, you've got great flavors in different, in different drinks.
Well, you can always be sparkling Sophie. We talk about sparkling water, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Sparkling
So,
water.
let's finish with some last words from Sophie. What would you like to tell everyone? What piece of
Oh God.
advice can you give? Yeah, advice can you give people who have had a 2020 like most of us have, and what advice can you give for 2021? Because you're quite a positive, quite a spiritual person. We'd like to hear your take on this.
Oh wow. Well, I can say that yes, not everything has been easy this year, but it can only get better. So, everybody out there, keep smiling. And even if you're going through something very, very difficult and personal, just keep smiling anyway. Take a little diary next to your bed. Start writing what is going on in your life or your emotions. Even if you think it's stupid, do it anyway. It'll just really, really be helpful in many ways that you're not even aware of. And after 2 weeks, I promise you that you'll just feel better about it as well. Look at yourself in the mirror and compliment yourself. When I was younger, I could not accept anyone saying to me that I was beautiful or anything. Never. I started crying. Now I am able finally to just say to myself, yes, Sophie, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you are confident, and this takes time. But look at yourself in the mirror every day and compliment yourself. You are beautiful. Everybody has so much inspirational thoughts to give to the world and so much love to give. And yes, just continue, go for your dreams. Never let anybody stop you from going for your dreams. You've only got one
That
life
is
to live.
such lovely words, and it's a great. Thank you very much. It's a great thing to finish on 2020. What a year we've had, guys. Sophie, thank you very much for honoring me with your presence and honoring our audience with your presence, and also, literally we signed the deal 2 days ago, and it's like thanks to Rocco for introducing us, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of each other, whether it's virtually or physically next year. I'm very confident about that without giving any hints away. But we look forward to hearing the good news on Monday,
Yes.
the confirmation. We look forward to seeing your books on the shelf. And we look forward to hearing more about you next year. We really do. I wish you the best of luck. I wish you a very, very happy new year, and God bless.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. It has been such a pleasure. And yes,
It's
a very,
been
very happy new year to you and to everybody who's watching. And may all of you have good health, love, and yes, thank you.
brilliant. I'm going to put you in the green room respectfully, and we'll chat in a bit off air. Give me 1 second. Whoa, thank you very much, guys. Well, that was Sophie, and Sophie Karl. Well, what an amazing, amazing, bubbly character to finish off. Inspirational people, inspirational stories of 2020, SAF surgery, spirituality gone wild. Guys, look at my sites. Join the Spirituality Gone Wild Untamed Club. We've got new content going on there on a regular basis, and it's all free. It's all free. You pay a little monthly charge, and you get thousands of pounds of dollars of work free of charge. Courses, meditation, everything. Guys, Untamed Club. Look at my website. Look at my pages. Check it out. Click on the link. Join in. It's perfect. Right, God, we're nearly the end of 2020. What's new for 2020? Well, next week, on Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK time, I have my show TJ Woodward, Universal Recovery. We had a great show last week, so please join us 6 p.m. UK time, where we talk about addiction, trauma, connection, and things like that. So please join us, and that's with the legendary TJ Woodward. Next Thursday again, I have my show. Inspirational people, inspirational stories, and I have the one and only Dr. Marisa Pei, who's also known as the Asian Oprah. She's a celebrity host. She's on CNBC and NBC in the USA. She's been with the likes of John Travolta and Halle Berry, and she's a massive, massive character. And I'm really looking forward to having her next Thursday, 8 p.m. And way before any of those two, on Saturday morning and Sunday morning, as usual, Feel Good Factor TV, Channel 191 Sky Showcase, from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Men's Talk, which is I'm part of, which is on at 10 a.m. So, guys, it's been a great, great 2020 in terms of the shows that I've been involved with, the message I've been trying to give. I hope you keep on watching our shows at Spirituality Gone Wild, my show as well, shows throughout 2021, and we're hoping for something bigger and better, and to be on other channels as well. And we hope for another year where I personally can be of service and give a message of hope to as many people as possible. Guys, Happy New Year. Love to you. One love. Do not fear. Saf is